What's up, Starcraft fans? This video is brought to you by ShadowArchon, who is supporting in Patreon. Pulse Cannon tier supporters or higher are guaranteed one video redemption per month. This month, he requested that I fight the trains on Oblivion Express using Arcturus Mengsk Sky Furies. So his exact request was I use whatever to fight the rest of the map. I can use Earth Splitters, I can use the Vampires, I can use Nukes, I can use Zerg, I can use Contaminated Strike to fight everything else, but the trains, the primary damage dealer to the trains must be the Sky Furies. So I will go this time with Principal Proletariat because the Sky Furies are quite expensive. All of the Royal Guard are quite expensive, so I'll want to reduce their costs by using this prestige. Royal Guard Vespine cost reduced by 25%. There we go. My masteries will be Labor and Trooper Imperial Support. I could go with Royal Guard Imperial Support, but I think Trooper Imperial Support is still substantial, and I don't really need the extra support from the Royal Guard to get maximum mandate. I think Trooper support is still more important. Royal Guard cost, obviously, that want to reduce the cost as much as possible. And finally, starting Imperial Mandate. I could go with experience rate gain, but I think getting a fast bunker to kickstart my economy is really where it's at. The starting Imperial Mandate, if I have 25 points here, that'll be enough mandate to start the game with enough mandate, to start to get enough mandates to drop the bunker right away. The bunker, well, I'll show you later on. Let's get right to it. So, beginning the game, you can see I immediately have 31 on this red bar here in the top, and I used 25 of that to summon this bunker. This bunker, you can see, contains 6 troopers. These guys will start shooting the rocks immediately at the start of the game, and will break them down and get me my expansion cleared. And what's better is once they're through shooting these 3 rocks down, I can unload this bunker and convert all of these guys into laborers. And where they convert is exactly where the bunker is. So they convert the bunker, they become workers, and they build my enlistment center really fast. So now you can see I'm just rallying. I've rallied 4 workers here so that I can get exactly 10. Well, yeah, exactly 10 troopers shooting at these rocks. I want 10 because 10 is the maximum number of workers that you can use to multi-build a structure. And I'll show you that in a moment. So the enlistment center, sorry, you can see it's progressing very slowly. It takes about a minute to construct. But once this rock goes down, I convert all my troopers to laborers. I right-click them all to the structure. You can see the progress bar goes much faster. That will allow me to just complete this really fast. And the nice thing about that is that I'll now have 2 enlistment centers, both producing workers. That will mean 2 workers at a time. That means faster economy because, yeah, I need a lot of these workers. So the more, it's just math. The more guys, the more factories you have, the faster your production. I drop another bunker right here. Those guys are going to be really good for me. Get a gas going. The Royal Guard cost quite a bit of gas, so I need to get my gases early. And I need to get my gases saturated. You can see this gas, this one in my main base is pretty far. It takes 4 workers to fully saturate or fill up that gas with workers. And the way you know is there needs to be a guy standing outside the refinery. If the previous guy from the refinery comes out before the next guy gets in, that's a sign that the refinery isn't fully saturated. So you can see, yeah, the guy always has to stop here. The previous guy always has to stop. That's how you know it's fully saturated. For this one, you need a 4th guy to fully saturate. Anyway, I'm rushing up now my tech tree. You can see I've gotten to the starport right away. To get a starport, the factory, and to get the factory in the barracks. So just rush those 3 and multi-build them so I can get the blimp right away. This blimp, I will siege it up over my main base and my expansion so I can get more mad. You can see the left number to the circle is 0. That means I have 0 extra mandate generation. But once I siege this up, you can see it goes up immediately to 39. The 39 means that I'm getting 40 extra points on this red bar in the middle. And once I have that red bar to certain numbers, you can see once at 25, I can use this bunker cooldown and this Zerg cooldown, but it's expendable. It's kind of spent on getting these top bars. So I need to get a lot of this mandate generation by sieging the blimp over the main and the expansion. So this number on the left will be higher so I can get this number in the middle filled up so I can use more of that on the top bars. Building 2 engineering bays so I can have 2 upgrades at a time. Again, more production, faster output. It's just math. More production, faster output. Starting my Sky Furies. These Sky Furies are produced out of the starport. They have 2 modes. Their flight mode and their ground mode. When they're on the ground, they can shoot ground targets. When they're in the air, they can shoot air targets. Pretty simple. So now I've built this bunker all the way out here. It did take a bit of damage, but now I have 2 guys repairing said bunker. While the guys inside are safe, they can shoot the enemies and they can shoot the train. So ShadowArchon said that I can use anything, but the main damage dealer has to be this guy here, the Sky Fury. Right now it's rank 1, so it's not doing a lot of damage, which is understandable. It's still in the early game. I still had to rush up to my tech. So as I mentioned earlier, more production, more output. So I'm rushing out this second starport right here so I can have double the starport production. Now theoretically, I can have as many as 15 or something, 30, 100 starports, but my economy will not be able to support them. So we can't just say you just spam all the starports so you can have 50,000 of those Sky Furies. Yeah, if I had infinite money, I would be able to use that, but I can only make the number of infrastructure or the number of buildings that I can actually support with my income. My income on this 2-base setup is enough to afford 2 starports worth of production. Any more starports and I'm gonna be running into money issues. I can't quite afford to keep all these starports busy. And what will happen is some starports like this one will be idle, not producing anything, and that's just wasted resources because these starports also cost money. So I load those guys. I don't need these bunkers anymore. I just run them here. These bunkers will probably just have guys run into them and shoot them down. Again, wasted resources. So I just salvage them to get the full value back. Right now I'm getting upgrades. This is +1 weapons for my guys, so they'll deal more damage. And this one is Earth Splitter range. I will make Earth Splitters. You can see it's on the way. The Earth Splitters will be used to unlock these contaminated strikes. The contaminated strikes will set fear to the enemy, rendering them unable to go on their predetermined path. That will be important later on for the bigger waves, because these Sky Furies, they may be incredible units, but they're not heroes. They cannot solo entire waves, especially dangerous waves, such as you'll see later on. So I'll want to use this contaminated strike to sort of make the enemy forget that they were going to attack me. I'll show you later on. So trying to get these Sky Furies to shoot down the train. I'm right-clicking the Sky Furies on the train. Meanwhile, the bunkers are just fighting the rest of these waves. You can see it shooting down. I'll also use the Contaminate Strike on this train. The Contaminate Strike will allow my units to deal more damage to the afflicted unit, such as this train. You can see it's going down pretty fast. And to make sure that only my Sky Furies are dealing the damage, I run these troopers back to base. Salvage everything so I can get the money back. And I can put that money to good use by building more infrastructure here, such as these Earth Splitters. Just start shooting these things over here. Meanwhile, I have a line of defense here that'll be pretty impactful later on, because some stuff will come to this ramp and try to break down my ally. I have to protect my ally. Okay, use the contamination here, so that will actually not connect with anything, but you can see this stalker right here. He had his skull thing over his head. Now he's running around in circles aimlessly. Now that's the fear effect. What that does is, if this wave gets hit with that fear, they will forget that we're going to attack my base and just kind of stand there like a bunch of idiots. And that's what I need the Contaminate Strike for. Make the enemy, instead of sending all these guys at my base that have to fight, they'll just stand in place and be no longer a threat. Now I see my mana is filled up. That's the fruit of getting these blimps over my bases. You can see I have 100. I can now use all the top bars to their fullest extent. I'm also using these Earth Splitters. You can see these Earth Splitters have so much range that you can reach all the way here. So these circles that you see here are from these Earth Splitters. That's how far they can shoot. I brought this blimp out here for detection because you can see this attack wave has Dark Templar in it. So I need this blimp to give me detection. So the blimp, yeah, it's aside from giving me mandate, it also gives me detection to see invisible men. I can see it's just the Vikings. I've retargeted my Earth Splitters to the enemy's base because, as ShadowArchon requested, the main damage dealer to the trains has to be these Vikings. And you can see they do deal incredible damage. But the bad news is these hybrid are kind of giving them a bad day. So I just use the Contaminated Strike to help my Vikings deal more damage. And now that that's gone, I just escape. I just fly away with my Vikings. I switch them to air mode. They cannot shoot the ground enemies when they're in air mode, but they can fly away faster and fly over this high ground. Now all I have to do now is these hybrid that spawned will come to my base, and I have to shoot them down using my Earth Splitters. Also using this train, I'll send my Vikings or my Sky Furies toward it. Shoot it down, like so. And that will go down really fast because I have 3 stars. You can see these Royal Guard, these Sky Furies have stars that correspond to their ranks. They're not just for show. The more stars these guys have, the more impactful their performances. The more improvements they have. You could go as high as 3 stars for any one of the Royal Guard. So it basically means I'm maxed out on some of these guys. Some of these guys have 3 stars already. Others have 2. These guys have 2. And nobody. Well, at least new Sky Furies will have 1 star. Got a bunch of guys here just clearing out this area so I can have a freer reign later on. Not completely free. Okay, I'm shooting this area. These disruptors are very dangerous, so I just use the nuclear annihilation on them. Again, that expends my entire 100 here. You can see it's reset to 0, but that does give my Vikings free shots to deal damage to this train. And ideally, I'll deal with them fast enough because I lifted this Viking so I can shoot down this Void Ray. And yeah, this Viking was taking a lot of damage, so I just fled it away. I have to run this guy away. This one might barely... Oh. Yeah, you can see the power of the 3 star. The 3 star gave that Viking invincibility. Look at that. That's insane. So now the rest of my Vikings are getting repaired. These laborers can also repair on top of building. I do have a bunker placed down here. I probably should have converted this guy to a laborer, but whatever. It's fine. I use Earth Splitter to clear out the escort of the train. The train does have escorts, but they've been taken down. And now my Vikings have cleaned up what's left of the train. The Zerg, by the way, also a top bar ability that costs mandate. You can see the Zerglings, the Harduists even clearing out this area over here to give me free access to this zone. In a minute, or 10 seconds rather, there'll be an attack coming from here. So I will use my Contaminated Strike to ideally set fear to all of them. So now you can see all these guys running around in fear. They'll forget that they were going to my base. So after the fear effect, even after the fear effect, they're just standing here menacingly, or rather pointlessly. They're not even going to my base anymore. So that's why I need to time these Contaminated Strikes properly. The timing on this map is at 58 seconds. 58 seconds, or at least 2 seconds before the timing that the wave spawns. That wave was the 16-minute wave, so I used the Contaminated Strike at the spawn location at 15 minutes 58 seconds, so 2 seconds before the enemy wave spawns, because the Contaminated Strike takes time to deploy, and also the enemy waves take time to actually spawn. Clearing out these disruptors using the Earth Splitters and the rest of the ground stuff, so that my Vikings can just engage these Phoenixes. You can see the Vikings do tremendous damage to all the air stuff. Once that's down, I just switch it to ground mode and use Contaminated Strike to really shred, like ShadowArchon said, convert the trains into mulch like it was nothing. And now that thing's down, I just fly away. Well, this guy's stuck in the hybrid spell. The good news is he does become quite tanky. He has 480 health when he's rank 3. So I just fly back here, get some good repair, and get these 10 Sky Furies ready for the next fight. See, the remainder of the hybrid do try to hit my base, but I have these bunkers from the beginning. Very nice that I had those bunkers there. More hybrid coming in. Walking into the unalive zone. 3-3 on the way. Next wave will hit at 19 minutes from this spot, so I'll target my contaminated strike over here. 1858. So you can see it will mostly connect. There were some that did escape the clutches of my contaminated strike, but they will be easily dealt with by regular Earth Splitter shots. That's gone. I retarget to this zone. There will be more enemies there. The next wave is double train from here and from here. So I'll need to destroy both those trains. That's my main objective, destroy both those trains. Shoot down these air units using my Vikings. Again, just clearing out the enemies so that my Vikings will be free to shoot down the train. Okay, here come the attack wave. I need to use the Zerg on them. Just kind of use the Zerg on them. The Zerg serve a twofold purpose. I could have just nuked this area, but there are hybrids that will spawn from this train. So the second purpose of the Zerg is to have the Phoenixes and the hybrid shoot at something else. Just shoot at something else, while my Vikings are focusing on the trains. And that just allowed them basically free reign to just go and retreat. Now I'm using the Earth Splitters to clear out the escorts on this train. There were a lot of escorts there, but I just used the Earth Splitters to clear out those guys, make them not a thing. While my Vikings land in this spot and just right click the train, make this train not a thing. I got a bunch of Phoenixes here on my tail. But once that thing goes down, I just fly away. Just fly away. Okay, this guy has the invincibility on. That's incredible. Run back to the repair center and get their health back. These guys need repairs. These guys are fine, so just fly them down here, land them, and then shoot down the train. Look how much damage they're doing. Look how much damage those guys are doing to the train. The upgrades are insane. The 3-star and the upgrades combined just shred the train so fast. That wasn't like 10 seconds or something. Anyway, under attack wave here, so I just use another contaminated strike to inflict fear on all those guys. A couple of Phoenixes got away, so I just finished them off with my Vikings or my Sky Furries. These guys just standing around here will get cleaned up using my regular Earth Splitter shots, because why not? I might as well. Last wave time, you can see these Phoenixes were contaminated struck from earlier, so they're just kind of standing in place. And now I gotta clear this out so that I have free reign for the last train, which I will use my top bars on. Just clear out these guys, especially the High Templar. The High Templar will deal tremendous damage with Storm, so I want to clear those guys out. Okay, nuclear annihilation. That will shred those guys, make them not a thing. These Vikings, they land, they deal tremendous damage to that big hybrid. The Sky Furies deal insane damage to massive units, and those hybrid happen to be massive, so I just make them not a thing so fast. This train is also massive, so I just right click the train, finish the game, and fly away. Fly away into the sunset, because they're cool Vikings like that. And there you go. The Sky Furies, you can see they dealt 40.8% of the damage. That's just the trains. That's almost exclusive to the trains. The Earth Splitter Ordnance dealt 44% because they were fighting the rest of the map. They were fighting the base, they were fighting attack waves, they were fighting escorts. So they naturally would deal a lot of damage. And yeah, that is this challenge done. Thank you, ShadowArchon, for redeeming that. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it also, please leave that in a comment. I'll see you guys next time.